Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have an extremely cute reindeer theme Christmas wreath made with an artificial evergreen wreath, some deco mesh bundles, a beautiful big mixed ribbon bow, and a wood cutout reindeer head from Hobby Lobby. And Dollar Tree also has the same wood cutout reindeer head. I just love this one. It's full of visual interest and fabulous traditional Christmas colors. Welcome to all to my channel today. And if you enjoy this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are not currently a subscriber, please consider becoming one. And leave me your comments. I always love receiving them. Okay, let me show you how I created this very cute reindeer-themed Christmas wreath. I purchased a 24-inch artificial evergreen wreath from Hobby Lobby. Everything is 50% off currently, and this wreath was only, after 50% off, around $6.50, which is awesome for that particular wreath because it's such excellent quality and made very, very well. I have there some snowball mesh that I purchased on craftoutlet.com, as well as the red from craftoutlet.com. And I have this striped deco mesh that I purchased at Hobby Lobby every other week. Their deco mesh is 40% off. I have there a stack of pipe cleaners cut in half, a rotary cutter, and some scissors. I'm going to be creating 12 bundles for this wreath. I'm going to cut each of those deco mesh sections in 16-inch length pieces. Each of the bundles is going to get a red piece of deco mesh, and then 6 of the bundles are going to get the white striped, and 6 are going to get the snowball mesh. Again, those are cut in 16-inch lengths. I'm going to be using a loose woodland method to create my bundles. I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. Okay, curls side up. I'm going to do a loose roll. A couple of rolls. I'm going to hold that with one hand while I go to the other side, roll up a couple of rolls, and then scrunch it together in the center and put a clip on that. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. Essentially, you're doing the same exact thing, but I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do it. So, curl side up, roll it a couple of times, hold it with one hand, roll it up on the other side, and scrunch with your fingertips. Now I'm going to take that and pair it up with the red, crisscross it, take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around, twist it a couple of times, and try and leave your tails even in case you want to use those pipe cleaners to attach it to the wreath frame. There's a couple of different ways you can attach those, and I'll talk about that in just a bit. All right, the other method, the same woodland method, but this time roll the rolls a couple of times and place a clip on it. You might find this easier. Go to the other side, roll it a couple of times, and then scrunch it right down the center and clip it. Now we'll use the red piece, curl side up, roll it a couple of times, put a clip on it, turn it around, roll the other side, and then scrunch it right down the center with your fingertips. Now, this is the same woodland method. It's just a little bit of a tighter roll, and it's also the method where you're using the clip a little more frequently than I did with the loose roll method. All right, so 12 bundles, each of them getting red, 6 of them getting the snowball white mesh, 6 of them getting the striped. Okay, now I'm going to make an extremely fabulous bow for this wreath. If you are not interested in learning to make this bow, you can simply forward over this, but I'm not going to skip this because I feel that a big, beautiful bow with lots of beautiful ribbons and created in an extraordinarily beautiful way is worth watching. So hopefully you have interest in this and you will just stick with me and watch the process. I'm showing you all the ribbons I'm going to use here. 4 different ones. That one's from Hobby Lobby. The green one with the little white Christmas trees is from Hobby Lobby. And the one that says, "Oh, what fun," is also from Hobby Lobby. Now, this ribbon here, it's actually 3.5 inches. And I got that at Walmart last season. Check out Walmart. They really have some really pretty ribbons. Nice quality wired ribbons. This one is a little bit wider than I normally use, but I like the idea of using it for a base for my mixed ribbon bow. I'm going to create long tails on this bow, 16 inches. And my loops are going to be 14 inches in length. So I'm going to create a 6 loop base for my bow. And you can measure the loops if you'd like, or you can simply eyeball it, or just measure the first one and then just do as I do. You'll see me pulling the loops up against one another or pulling them together. I'll show you here in just a minute. Just like that. Okay? That's a way to determine if you have them even or symmetrical. Because you do want to have them even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. You'll never be able to tell the difference. So the method that I use to create my bows is the fold over and scrunch in the center method. I always like to use wired ribbon. So I'm doing the fold over method. I scrunch it in the middle with my thumb and my index finger. See how I make sure that I have my bows even? And if I don't, I can either pull that ribbon forward or pull it back to just make that little adjustment as I go along. So I already have 3 loops completed on the left side. Now I'm doing the 3rd one on the right side. So notice that I have my hand right down the middle, my thumb and my index finger holding those loops very tightly. Now I'm going to cut off my tail from the ribbon spool at the same 16 inches. And I'm going to use a half of a pipe cleaner and wrap it around right where you see my thumb and my index finger there. This is how I hold my loops together. Now right now I'm just opening up my loops, making sure everything looks the way I want it to. I'm going to take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around, and twist it in the back. So again, my tails were 16 inches. My loops, this time, because I'm making a really fabulous big bow, are 14 inches in length. And there you have the base of my mixed ribbon bow. And this ribbon is so cute. Obviously, you can see it says ho, 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 ho. And it's a nice cloth ribbon. Very, very pretty. Okay, so I'm deciding here what's going to be my next layer of my bow. And I decided on this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I love this ribbon. It has that kind of peppermint candy looking trim. Now I'm going to make my loops just a little bit smaller on this one, around 13 inches instead of 14. Now I'm going to create my loops exactly the same way. See how I make my adjustment there? Holding it tightly in the center, I always twist my ribbon before I fold it over. This way I always have the right side of the ribbon facing up. Twist right there, fold it over, Just eyeballing the loops is good enough if you're okay with that. Otherwise, it's fine. Just keep your measuring mat or some type of measuring tool underneath you so you can just place your ribbon up next to it. If you're new at doing this, go ahead and do that. That's fine. But after a while, you'll find you don't need to measure anymore. It's more about eyeballing it. Okay, loop number 3 on the right side. And now I have tier number 2 of my mixed ribbon bow, cutting off my tail from the spool at the same 16 inches. See how I'm holding everything tightly? Now I take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around, twist it in the back. Now, if you would like to see a bow tutorial on how I create these bows much slower and more methodical, I do have multiple bow tutorials. Check out my playlist. And if you like, get a piece of practice ribbon and just sit down and watch the video and practice. It does take practice, but once you've got it, you'll be so, so happy. Okay, so now I'm doing my green ribbon with the white trees. Love this ribbon. This is a Hobby Lobby ribbon. I'm going to do my loops around 12 inches this time. So you can see my loops are getting a little bit smaller as I graduate toward the top of the bow. Again, I'm going to do 3 loops on each side, twisting my ribbon each time before I fold over the loops, pinching it in the center to hold the loops with my thumb and my index finger. This is a beautiful cloth ribbon, wired on the edges, of course. Checking my loops. When I have it too long, I can make the adjustment. If I have it too short, I can make the adjustment right then and there. Okay, loop number 3 on the right side is finished. Go ahead, take a pipe cleaner, wrap it around, twist it in the back, and that's layer number 3. I'm going to cut my tails off at 16 inches. I'll finish those ends later. I'll show you how I do that. Now I'm just going to open up my loops, make sure everything looks the way I want it to. Okay, last but not least, this very cute, what fun ribbon. This is super cute ribbon. Has a little bit of glitter on it. Again, the same 16-inch tail, but this time I'm going to make my loops 1 inch less. So I did 14, 13, 12. Now I'm going to go down to 10 or 11 inches is good. See how it's a little bit smaller? I'm going to fold over my loops, pinch it in the center. This is a nice wired cloth ribbon. Love this ribbon. Very compliant, very nice to work with. So I decided for the top tier, I was just going to do 2 loops on each side. Now I'm going to wrap half a pipe cleaner up. Actually, it's a full-size pipe cleaner because I'm going to create a center loop. So what I'm going to do here is just create 1 loop going right down the center of that bow. And all I do is curl that ribbon under. My thumb is right under there. I place my thumb right on top of that. Take the other finger, scrunch it up underneath there. Now I have a center loop to finish off my top bow. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner that was around the back where I initially twisted that shut with that full-size pipe cleaner. And then I just poke it through the center loop, and now everything is secure. Twisted it in the back, cut off my tails at 16 inches again. and this ribbon is going to be fabulous. Now I have a tail on top where I created that center loop. So one of my tails was resting on the top of my bow. So I just gave it a little fold, poked it right through my center loop, and married it up with the tail on the bottom of the bow. Now I'm going to go about trimming off all of the tails on the back of my bow because I'm going to be stacking all of these together. And I don't want those pipe cleaners to create any bulk because I need those to be flush upon one another. Now again, if this looks like a lot, a lot of information, do yourself a favor. If you really want to learn how to make beautiful bows, go to my bow tutorials or just watch the bows being made with every video that I do. Because I think that the more you watch it, the more it becomes clear how I'm doing these bows. And it's really not that difficult. It really isn't. Once you understand the construction, you'll be surprised how you'll be able to make these bows, just like I do. Okay, layer number 2 is that pretty white shimmery ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I'm opening up my loops to receive the next layer, which is that beautiful green. Look at the beautiful visual interest of this bow. Choosing the bows for my wreaths is my ribbons for my wreaths is one of my greatest joys. I love putting it all together. Okay, so the 4th layer, putting that on top, I'm going to make sure all of my bows are aligned right down the center, and I'm going to take my tails and place them on each side of my arm and my hand. So obviously each bow has 2 tails, so one goes on each side of my hand and arm. Now I'm going to take a full-size pipe cleaner, poke it right down the center loop, bring it around the back, pressing all of those bow loops and bows together very, very firmly. I'm going to pull that pipe cleaner very, very tight. Make sure I have at least somewhat equal tails because I am going to be reaching through that evergreen to wrap those pipe cleaners around the wreath frame to attach that bow to the wreath. Look how pretty that is. All in traditional colors. Just beautiful. Now I will be taking care of my tails later, but right now I'm just pulling everything together, opening up the loops, and of course I will be adjusting everything kind of obsessively once I get it on the wreath. I just love a beautiful bow. And there you have it. Gorgeous. Okay, now this reindeer head I got at Hobby Lobby, but they do have this same reindeer head at the Dollar Tree. I'm thinking that the wood piece, which is really, it's just that pressed wood, is maybe a little bit heavier on the Hobby Lobby piece. Hobby Lobby reindeer head might be a little bit sturdier, but honestly, I made plenty of reindeer head projects in the past few years using the reindeer head from the Dollar Tree, and it looks just like this. Okay, so I'm going to paint mine, but I'm also going to give you another idea for what you could do that is so, so cute with these reindeer heads. I've done many projects with these in the past years, but this one I wanted to paint. So I have here a package of these string Christmas lights. These are from Hobby Lobby. Of course, 50% off. This reindeer is going to have Christmas lights all tangled up in its antlers. This is going to look so, so cute. Now I'm going to place my reindeer wood head on a surface with some paper and just begin painting. I painted the head one shade of brown. This is all up to you. You do you, whatever you like for your colors. And the antlers, another color, and then the nose, red. I'm going to show you again how I do eyes. You can either do them as two ovals on a slant, place the eyeball inside of the oval, add some eyelashes. This is the one I did on the piece. I place two straight lines going down the center, then I create two teardrops. I draw in my eyeball, and then I create some eyelashes. This is how I often do eyes on my projects. Now that one on the bottom is the exact same one as the one above it, only I created eyelids. So there's a slanted line going through the oval there. So however you like to do it, you always draw on my eyes with a pencil first, and then I just simply paint it. I have some distressing ink and a finger dauber. Now I am going to use that finger dauber to just go around the edges of my antlers. And I also went around the ear area and a little bit on the nose. Now this does make a difference, but it's very subtle. So I'm just going around the edges. This creates a little bit of a look of depth. So I just dab my little finger dauber in my photo distress ink that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, of course. The finger daubers as well. And I'm just going to go around those antlers, and maybe it doesn't show up that well on camera, but if you see this in person, you'll see that it really adds a nice touch. So I did filled in the ear area, and I finished doing my distressing, if you will, and now I'm going to proceed to open up and shape my wreath. That's a 24-inch evergreen wreath. As I mentioned, very sturdy. I love, love, love Hobby Lobby artificial evergreen wreaths. Now I'm just going to open that up to create fullness and symmetry on that wreath. I will be placing my bow on there because my bow is of a very substantial size, and so I want to create all of my embellishments on that wreath to go around the bow. Now I'm going to prepare my sign, or my reindeer head, if you will, and I'm just going to place a few pipe cleaners on the back. Now those reindeer antlers do have a hole on each of the antlers to hang it if you wanted to hang it. I didn't fill in those holes because I'm not at all concerned that I can conceal those holes. In one way that I can conceal them, I am going to be placing some artificial snow on the antlers, as you will see here in just a bit, and that's one way to conceal it. But once you place it on that deco mesh, by the time you get the string of lights on there, you're not going to see those holes at all. So I'm going to use some hot glue, 3 pipe cleaners, and 3 pieces of felt. This wreath is not going outside, but if it were, I would not be concerned that those pipe cleaners and that felt will remain on there. I use Gorilla Hot Glue, though. That's the key, I think. If you're concerned about any weather elements, go ahead and use some Aleene's Tacky Glue in addition to the hot glue. This particular wreath is not even going outside at all, so I'm not concerned. Okay, everything's attached. I have my eyes on. I drew a line on my ears, put a little bit of that distressing on the ears to darken the inner ear part of the reindeer. Now I take a cup paper plate because the snow is really messy. I love Dollar Tree fake snow. Okay, I just love their fake snow. I keep it in a baggie. Sometimes I put it in a little shaker container, but I just place the antlers over a paper plate to catch all the excess. And I'm going to take a sponge applicator and just dab Mod Podge on the very tops of the antlers where, if that reindeer were outside, the snow would have collected on the antler. Just in those areas where you would imagine that the snow would collect on the antler. So I just dab my Mod Podge on there, sprinkle my snow over it, shake off the excess. Now I do that for a little bit on the top of the head, a little bit on the top of the ears, on the antlers, and a little bit on the nose. I'm showing you there a little bit on the top of the ears and a little bit on the nose. Look how cute those eyes are. This turned out super cute. Okay, so I have my snow on. And I'm going to be placing my little string of lights. And there you have them. And I'm going to begin by just hot gluing one end of the lights on the back of the antlers. And then I just arrange them all over the antlers. Very easy. You just do it however you like. Just kind of string them through the antlers. Okay, so my wreath is all opened up and prepared for my embellishments. So I'm going to place my bow around 10 o'clock on that wreath. It's actually like 9 to 10. So what I'm doing right now is just feeding the pipe cleaners through those evergreen pieces. And the thing I love about an artificial evergreen wreath is that you can position everything the way you want it. I can accommodate my bow loops by just simply moving those evergreen pieces in a fashion that allows me to place my bow exactly the way I want it. That's why I just love, love, love an evergreen wreath. So again, 9 to 10 o'clock. And now I am going to begin placing my deco mesh bundles. I use 12 bundles on this wreath. I place them in a manner that I can either attach them with using the evergreen pieces. I just crisscross it over the center of the deco mesh bundle. But make sure when you do this that you push your deco mesh down close to the wreath frame. You don't want your deco mesh bundles kind of bobbling on the top because you didn't secure it tightly. Really pull it down and secure it very well. You can do it that way, or you could take the tails of the pipe cleaner, whichever you like. I actually do both. It just depends on where I'm placing it and what's available in that spot actually. And I do sometimes push my deco mesh bundle right up to the wreath wire and secure it around the wreath wire. So I try to stagger my bundles, placing one toward the outside, then another a little bit more toward the inside, then back to the outside, then the inside, just so I have a variance in the placement of the deco mesh bundles all the way around that wreath. And also, I am alternating the striped, then the snowball mesh, then the striped, then the snowball mesh. This way, I am adding a lot of texture, but also variance all the way around that wreath. I am going to be placing some red ornaments on that wreath, and I'll be doing that later. Now, regarding that reindeer head, I wanted to make another suggestion to you how to finish that. You could take a heat gun, Remove the antlers and the nose and put scrapbook paper. Use one type of scrapbook paper on the head. Use another type of scrapbook paper. Mix it up. Mix your patterns. Oh my gosh, it makes the cutest reindeer heads. And use another type of scrapbook paper on the antlers. You can buy some of those, I call them Google eyes, but those plastic eyes, and you could put them on the reindeer head. And I would suggest painting the nose and just putting the nose back on red. But you could use a piece of scrapbook paper in a different print. You could do that. And then just glue on the eyes. I've done this with this reindeer head, and it makes the cutest decor wherever you want to use it. I actually made a garland with these reindeer heads. And I made each one of them different with all different types of scrapbook paper. And I used a piece of heavy red yarn to place through the holes in the antlers. And I made a long garland. You could do this for every member of your family. Each one could have their own. But for this case, I'm getting carried away telling you about this great garland I made, but it's really awesome. But for me, I wanted to do something really cute on this piece. And I wanted to do a reindeer head that I painted, obviously, and I did that. And put snow on the antlers, and then put the string of lights all tangled up in the antlers. Now, these are awesome in that you can glue them exactly where you want them on the antlers. And again, I purchased these in the section with all of the little embellishments for like mini trees. It's in the craft section, in the Christmas section. But these were 50% off and just so cute for this project. And I love the way this reindeer head looks in the wreath. You could do all kinds of projects with this reindeer head. It's super cute. But you could also do the scrapbook paper idea and put it in this wreath. If you don't want to do all the painting of the eyes and just the painting period and distressing and all that, you could just use scrapbook paper. Oh my gosh, comes out so cute. Okay, so I have all of my lights all tangled up in my antlers. Some of them are actually hanging down off the antlers. I'm showing you there. And this is just the cutest. I love doing cute. I love doing cute at Easter. I love doing cute at Christmas decor. I just love it. Anything fall. I always go for Halloween. I never go for the spooky, creepy stuff. I always love to do cute. So that's my vibe. Okay, so now I am going to place my very cute reindeer head down into my wreath. Now the head or the face of the reindeer is going to be resting on the bottom of the wreath, and then the antlers are going to be poking up toward the top. Now, I don't want my reindeer head sitting right on top of the wreath. I'm going to bury it in there just a little bit. And then I'm going to simply attach that reindeer head with those pipe cleaners right to the wreath frame. I believe I've already done that. Now I'm going to start placing around my ornaments. These I just got in a big box of ornaments from Hobby Lobby. And they had glitter ornaments in there as well, but I didn't use any glitter on this wreath. I just used the matte and the shiny. I put a nice hefty blob of hot glue on the cap, press it down into that wreath, and hold it until it dries. Now I like to place them around the outer perimeter as well. This just adds a little something to this wreath. So I have the big fabulous bow, the big reindeer head, the ornaments, and the deco mesh, and I felt that was enough embellishments for this wreath. All right, let me show you how I do my tails. I do this very frequently with my bows, especially the ones that have multiple multiple patterns on the ribbons. Okay, so I leave my longest tail for the base, and then with each bow layer, I cut the tails a little bit shorter. So next is the green, and then the top bow is going to be the shortest, but not by much. I just make it a little bit of around an inch or so. And I do this so that you can see the layers of those tails trailing down. I just love the look of this. And I do angle my tails. And now you can see why I do that, because it's all layered. All of those ribbon tails. I love it. And this is a very, very, very cute reindeer head wreath. I'm going to use a full-size pipe cleaner. Look for the 12 o'clock position on my wreath. And I'm just going to place a pipe cleaner right through there around the wreath wire and just create a loop. Wrap it around itself, and now I have a means to hang my wreath. All you have to do is create a loop, crisscross the pipe cleaners, twist it, and then fold it over on itself. Just wrap it around itself, and you have a very sturdy means to hang the wreath. And there you have it. Love, love. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments. I love hearing from you. Remember, if you're not a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. And let me know what you think of this wreath. And as well, if you would give it a thumbs up, this really helps my channel to grow. And I appreciate that. Okay. One last look at this very, very cute wreath. And I hope you like this one. Okay, until next time, you all take care.